hawks, owls, and eagles, and so instead of slashing and stabbing with their claws, falcons actually punch with their feet to disorient or concuss their target.
Dude, he gave him CTE. I don't think he's concussed. I think he's dead. Bro, y'all see this new HUD, this new overlay? Are we messing with this, fellas? Are we messing with this? Look, bruh. I'm not gonna lie. I'm kind of messing with this new HUD, cause this new HUD, this new overlay. I'm kind of messing with it, bro. I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna lie. But fellas, we're back with some more Tierzoo, fellas. I've not done Tierzoo in a minute. All right, I think it's been like a few months. Like I think like a month or two. I don't know. But we got the bird tier list by the GOAT, the one and only Mr. Zoo. Now, fellas, before I start this video off, Cuddy, I need to do a hoodie do a rant. Little hoodie do a rant, little hoodie do a rant. You know what really annoys me, bro? What really grinds my gears, irks my soul? It's joggers or people who be running shirtless on campus. You know, I don't know why no, I do know why. And I'll get straight to it. But I can already hear, by the way. I can already hear on the comments. They're just getting an exercise. What's wrong with that? Is what you're saying, you numbskull. But listen, that's not my point. I hate people who run like joggers who do it shirtless, right? And then you look at them and you see if anyone's paying attention. Because you running shirtless on a college campus, bitch. I know what you're trying to do. I played these games before, Cuddy. I can see through the genjutsu, Cuddy. I know what you're trying to do. And it's so obvious, too. Because, like, obviously, I don't have a problem with people jogging, right? I don't care. But you can tell when it's like they're doing it for performative reasons. When you look at them and their face, their head looks like they're in Nam, Cuddy. They're in Vietnam. Like there's a 1v5 on C's type of time, Cuddy. Like, bro, they're like, you know what you're trying to do. Shut up. Stop it, Cuddy. It was so egregious one time because I was walking back to my car from class and like, you know the crosswalk, I was waiting and then a jogger comes out of nowhere. I look at him, he's shirtless, and like he is looking immediately, because you know, class is let out, so a bunch of people are walking around. Immediately looking up, left, right, behind. Like you would think he's getting comms from Lex Luthor, bruh. Like, dog, you know what you're trying to do, bruh. You not slick. I can hear y'all, what do you do? You just mad 'cause people exercising, you dummy. Fuck you. All right, don't play dumb. Don't play stupid with me. All right, that's my one curse word of the video. I'm trying not to cuss no more, Cuddy, because YouTube be age restricting my junk. YouTube been on my case recently with these age restrictions, Cuddy. I gotta chill out. Where my water at, bro? No, we are like, how long has it been? I don't care. But hey, welcome back after skipping a hoodie to a rant. You're a loser. Lock in. Dang. Cuddy, that be my healers, bro. My support going in the front lines. You're not peeling. Cuddy, you're in the front lines ahead of the thing. What you do? Whatever.
Birds are one of the most popular playable classes in the game, with a huge number of successful builds and tons of cool strategies. However, some of these strategies have clearly been more successful than others. So today we'll be going over the bird
He hit in the BBL, bro.
tier list to see which bird ranks highest. But before we get into looking at specific bird builds, let's do an overview of the basic attributes and special abilities.
Where did that rat come from? Cuddy, he just spawned in. I ain't gonna lie, rat builds in the real life meta need to be exterminated, dog. Now mice builds, they're fine, they're cute, but rat builds? Ugh.
The bird faction has access to, as well as a quick rundown of the history of the bird faction.
Okay, bet.
So birds are one of the newer factions in the game.
Is that supposed to be the Spinosaurus? How they nerfed my boy, bruh. Guan not letting the Spinosaurus live, bruh. He ain't getting no new skins, only nerfs.
Joining the game's roster during the latter part of the Mesozoic expansion.
God, that's how XQC sits on his chair, bitch. Ugh. Hunchback of Doom, Cuddy.
They began as an offshoot of the dinosaur faction that was specifically adapted to arboreal gameplay. But when the devs dropped the Cenozoic balance patch, these small avians were the only dinosaurs not to be hit by the banhammer.
How close do you think the devs were to giving us the banhammer for this current meta? Because I'm surprised we haven't had any crazy patch notes or any crazy patches to our IRL meta. You know, I mean, like, what would they even do? I feel like an Astro would be too chaotic. I feel like some aspects they like about this current meta they want to carry over, but I'm trying to figure out which ones. You know? To all the devs upstairs, right? Are we keeping Hoodie Dude?
Fast forward to today's meta, and birds are one of the most successful factions in the game, owing this success to a handful of powerful, unique abilities, in addition to the obvious flying attribute. First of which is their beak. Now, beaks were not an entirely new ability for the reptile player base, but birds went far deeper into the beak skill tree than most dinosaurs ever had, with many bird players opting for extremely specialized beaks to give them an edge in specific scenarios.
They do look kind of chopped, though, with the beaks long as crap, though. You know, I'm not gonna lie, they do look kind of chopped. But, like, are there any other special abilities allocated to birds besides the long beaks? Is there, like, a bird with, like, a spiky dick? You know what I mean? Like, or, like, I'm not trying to be weird, but, like, imagine a bird that can, like, spit, like a camel, spit out, like, I don't know, like acid. So all my bird builds, y'all gotta come up with some more unique builds, bro. It's all the same thing, just different variations to different colors. Like, there's no variety when it comes to the bird meta. Actually, no, you know what? I might be wrong. The video just started. I'm not too familiar with birds. I'm not fluent in bird. Because I can really hear y'all. Blue dude, what about this senator? What about this senator? Shut up. Shut it. Shut up. Thank you. Why are you talking? But bro, like, there's so many. I want to know if there's so much more variety when it comes to birds. Because I know about owls, and it can look 360, right? That's it. The hummingbird. That build kind of sucks. But, you know, like, there's no variety. Come on, Tierzoo. I want some variety with these builds. I want some niche builds, Cuddy.
However, even the basic beak offers plenty of advantages, while their lack
being a dick
of teeth.
I blocked this ad 5 times. How do these ads persevere, Cuddy? We evolve as ads, bruh. Golly. I be blocking these ads.
Does mean that they deal reduced damage with their bite attack. Birds can be far more accurate with their pecking attacks, enabling them to hit weak points or secure grabs on smaller targets, such as the thin hurt box of a snake. Beaks also offer moderate protection, potentially reducing headshot damage and nullifying imprecise counterattacks. Beaks also offer some of the best stab-type damage in the game, which, when used accurately, can deal massive damage on crit. Beaks are also excellent tools for dealing with parasites. In fact, they're so good that oftentimes, other less dexterous players will party up with bird support players in order to have a better matchup against parasites. Feathers are also a unique and powerful trait exclusive to birds that provides excellent cold protection without causing the user to become too over-encumbered to fly.
I didn't know they were exclusive to birds, though. Bro, I did not know they were exclusive to birds. That's really cool, actually. For a bum!
Defense against crush-type attacks, which is especially important to birds because of their hollow bones trait. Hollow bones are another ability meant to synergize with the flying playstyle.
Yeah,
now, a common misconception is that bird bones are hollow in order to reduce equipment load.
Are you talking about me? Oh.
But actually, they're hollow in order to let bird players fill them with air, which grants them a massive boost to their maximum stamina.
Oh. Yeah, dumbass hoodie dude. Stupid. Okay, Cuddy. Well, what morons really believe that, like, hollow birds have hollow bones because they'll let them fly easier? Really, Cuddy? Bro, y'all gotta lock in, bro. Yes, you watching this.
Without this, it'd be extremely tough for a bird to fly for any significant period of time. The trade-off, of course, is that a broken bone not only deals serious damage, but also potentially reduces the player's maximum stamina by a huge margin.
Cuddy walking like a model.
So a bird player will need all of the blunt damage defense it can get. And speaking of blunt damage, the bird's lower bone density means the bird's own blunt force strikes, like wing attacks, also deal reduced damage. The top tier bird builds are the ones that can best
Are they humping the road? That's me and Twin, bro.
Capitalize on the strengths of their class while mitigating potential weaknesses. That about covers the basics, so let's get into the tier list.
Let's get straight to it, Cuddy. The kiwi and the kakapo. Okay.
At the bottom of the tier list, we have 2 flightless bird builds, both with essentially the same glaring weakness.
But, like, what even is the point of a flightless bird build? No, those are not builds, Cuddy. Those are XP forms. Those are AI. You know how in Ark Survival Evolved, you got dodos who were, like, meant to be, like, the stepping stone for you to succeed? These are kiwis. No actual player is maining the kiwi build, bro. But no, you don't, Cuddy. You don't main the kiwi. You don't main the kiwi, dog. Those are XP XP boosters spawn, like, they just serve a one purpose, and that's to die.
These are the kiwi and kakapo. Kiwis are hilariously part of the same faction as ostriches, emus, and cassowaries.
Really?
For some reason, they opted to give up the flight ability, but didn't use the extra available skill points to spec into gigantism like the rest of their squad did. The result is a build that can literally only exist on island servers where there is no active mammal player base.
Oh, so it's the PvE server. It's the PvE builds, bruh. I don't like PvP. It's too hard, pussy.
AKA New Zealand.
Oh.
The kakapo is a
Steven Adamsville.
flightless version of the parrot, and although parrots are undoubtedly excellent bird builds, the flightless weakness is too glaring to ignore.
Yeah.
Due to invasive species like rats and cats establishing a presence on island servers, both of these flightless bird builds are seeing major
Dude, immediately was scared, bruh. It's like a freshman walking into his first frat party, dog.
declines in their player base, and I would not be surprised if they all ended up switching mains.
Golly, critically endangered. I mean, I would assume so, bro. The kakapo and like the kiwi, like there's literally no value in them, you know? Ugh. On the bright side, it is some form of variety, but like, who be mating these builds, bro? They got scammed, cause they did not watch Joe Knows.
Flight is just too strong an ability to pass up, which brings me to the next builds on my tier list.
And they're ugly. That cockapoo look mad old, bruh. Look like a blue-collar worker as a bird, bro. He just turned 21. He looks 40. Ratides?
So I see what these builds were going for. Being
Ostrich,
giant
right?
could potentially make up for the lack of flight, but in practice this didn't quite pan out.
Okay.
While these are technically the strongest birds in terms of base power and defensive stats, for their weight class they are woefully underpowered.
Really?
They're one of the few megafauna builds that can be taken down by cheetahs, when they should be able to completely annihilate cheetahs with their powerful claws. Their huge weak point presents a lot of opportunity for counterattack too, so if they ever get too bold, they're setting themselves up for a tough loss.
So the POV, you walking around trying to impress the host. Hey, little bro, you still need my hotspot? You still need my hotspot? Hey, bro, he starts the airboxing. You remember back when people was boxing, bro? I hit you with a liver punch. Hey, bro. Hey, what the host doing? What you doing? Bro, ass moment, golly.
Lastly, the fact that they are forced to nest on the ground forces them into an even more vulnerable position than most birds,
He doing the William Dafoe pose as a bird, bro.
as ratite eggs are extremely valuable as loot. Objective defense is not an easy task even for high-tier builds, so for ostriches, emus, and cassowaries, this is a huge hurdle.
The hummingbird. Really? The hummingbird is on the same tier as the ratides? I would assume so, but I know the hummingbird's design is so bad where they constantly need to fly. They constantly need a source of stamina. You know, I don't know if they'll be learned on the same tier. Low-key, I mean, no, because the hummingbird has the best mobility of all birds, right? From what I know. So, I don't know. I feel like the ratides' height makes up for it, you know? Even though it's kind of butt.
On the tier list, we have the hummingbird. This build spec'd purely into mobility and just about nothing else, and as a result, is the only bird build with full 360-degree movement, similar to a
How does that even work, though? How does the 360-degree movement even go? Like, in terms of the wings? Do the wings alternate 360, like, everywhere, essentially? Because they just look stationary, you know?
dragonfly.
It looks like someone has a mouse and it's just dragging them around.
This, combined with its extremely small size, enables the hummingbird to very quickly change direction mid-flight, allowing it to easily dodge attacks and fly around obstacles.
I wonder if the black market has like racing hummingbirds where they capture hummingbirds and they train them to like they can race.
More importantly, it allows the hummingbird to access nectar, which is an extremely valuable source of energy
But he eating that butterfly's antenna, bruh.
that's normally inaccessible to birds, since birds are usually too heavy to land on flowers and not agile enough to access nectar mid-flight. This all sounds great, but the hummingbird also has two very serious weaknesses.
Stamina.
The first is pretty obvious. They have no combat prowess at all, and any attack they fail to dodge will send them right back to the character select screen.
I mean, but why? Okay, but Loki, that's survival instincts, bro. Why are you as a hummingbird challenging the one side that has a praying mantis, Cuddy? My ranked teammates, dog. My ranked teammates. Please help! I'm being cooked! How we got cooked. Like, come on, bro. You could have went to this side right here. Because I feel like the mobility makes up for the fact that they have no, like, combat prowess whatsoever, right? The sheer mobility should allow you to be able to maneuver out the way of like most enemies. You're just dumb, Cuddy.
But in addition to that, the insane energy cost of their flight ability, combined with their total lack of fat storage, means hummingbirds will run out of stamina very quickly if they can't constantly find food.
Yeah, isn't it like every 15 minutes?
To me, this is a high-risk, high-reward strategy where the risk far outweighs the reward.
Yeah, I was about to say, cause there's literally no reward. Like, you didn't expect it to no feat.
So I have to place them in F tier.
Dang, they're all... I don't think the Ratides one deserves to be F tier. D tier maybe, but F tier I don't know. Pigeon.
At the bottom of D tier, we have the pigeon.
Okay.
The pigeon build doesn't really have
The government spies. Face of that bitch just tweaking, dog.
any critical flaws, but they're held back by mediocre stats. In particular, the pigeon is sorely lacking in any combat-focused stat, like power or defense. They do best in cities where their excellent navigation ability grants them an extra bit of safety, by nesting among high-rises in loot-rich locations.
I wonder how many pigeons were shot by, like, gang members in New York. I'm being so serious, dog. Like, imagine in New York, it's like, not a ritual, but like an induction. It's like an induction where, like, you shoot a pigeon out with, like, a Glock 16. Just, is that even a real gun, a Glock 16? I'm about to have someone new. Okay, let me see. Oh, it is. I was about to have someone lose or one dumb nerd. What do you do? That's not a real gun. You're not really about it. No, bro. I live in the burbs. My fault, bro. That's damn right. It's your fault. The whore. I gotta use AC, bro.
But even in cities, pigeon players tend to be
getting humped.
the main source of XP for higher tier predators. Plus, if you're just looking to play a bird build that's good at looting cities, there are better options available anyway.
Right.
Imagine being able to
Bro,
build...
I blocked base 44 50 times! How do they keep getting away? You, bro, to the viewers, you see this, right? Here's another one. Cuddy, William Afton ass, Cuddy! The peacock.
The peacock build is another generally understated build, with high HP but little else to rely on.
I mean, on the bright side, they got cool camos, bruh. And they got Love Island. That's
It does, however, have one of the highest intimidation proficiency bonuses in the game, gaining a massive buff to all intimidation checks when its Eye Spot Feather ability is activated.
Could one theoretically cause someone epilepsy or like a seizure with the like array of colors?
As impressive as this ability is, the peacock's actual attacks do very little damage, so any player able to resist being frightened will have a pretty easy win. The peacock's
Keep jumping forward. They're not even about a fight.
dramatic display also blocks vision behind itself, making a stealth approach by a third-party attacker extremely easy. And while they can escape by flying, the feathers of a peacock are so heavy that getting airborne takes a bit longer than most birds, which can be the difference between dodging or dying when under attack.
Where's the zookeeper? Where's the zookeeper? Flamingo.
The flamingo is a bit of an AFK class. Very minimal
be
skill
doing
is
nothing.
actually required to pilot this build.
Yeah, the squirrel girl build.
They opted to spec into the filter feeding ability, meaning all they really need to do to gain experience and progress their character is pick a random spot in the lake bed and start digging around with their beak.
So they just do nothing. Okay, bad. They're XP farmers. They're the XP. You just kill them for XP. No one actually maintains
Scoring
guys.
free wins against things like snails and shrimp. However, when faced with a challenge from any player
What the is that a condom?
anywhere near its size, this build totally falls apart. They rely on water to impede the approach of predators in order to give them time to escape when attacked. However, this doesn't always work.
Okay.
Their pathetic defensive stats mean they go down in 1 or 2 hits, and their slow flight startup means that oftentimes players will have time to rush them down even when they're in the water. This is an easy build to rack up a bunch of experience with, but also a very easy build to defeat if you know their weaknesses.
So I'm saying those are the XP farm. Those are the ones you kill to get XP from like level 0 to level 1. Gotcha. Okay, I got you. That chicken.
Ah, the humble chicken, often compared to the T-Rex to exemplify how far the dinosaur faction has fallen.
I hate the T-Rex.
While I disagree with the implication, I don't disagree that chickens are indeed a low-tier build.
Yeah.
While they aren't anywhere near as totally helpless as the kiwi or kakapo, they're still a barely average statted
Hey,
bird
keep moving!
that lacks the ability to fly for any extended
Cuddy almost got off screen.
distance. They can certainly hold their own against most similarly sized opponents, but with poor escape options and no unique abilities, this build faces an uphill battle against most opponents.
Okay, I think to be fair, this clip is very bad in terms of providing the context for what you're trying to do. Look at my bird. Look at the chicken, Cuddy. He's trapped. Look! Like, bro, he in the cage, dog. There's not really nowhere else he could go.
Well, okay, I shouldn't say no unique abilities, but to be honest, their fast respawn rate kinda backfired on them due to humans using the factory farming strategy.
Yeah. Low-key, if chickens ever got, like, sentience, right? Say humans got extinct, chickens get, like, had the intelligence of humans. Would chickens view those farms as, like, their version of the Holocaust?
Next in C tier, we have
it's so serious.
the Vulture build, the tankiest variant of the Raptor subclass. A good tank build needs to be able to accomplish two things. The first is area denial, which vultures do quite well. A few of them can easily lock down a carcass, one of the most contested points of interest you'll ever see on the map. They can do this because of their large size and acidic projectile attack.
Acidic?
The other thing a tank must be good at is
They're
shrugging
projectiles?
off hits, and
Bro,
this is
I was wrong. Wait, oh my goodness, I was right. Well, I wasn't right, but dude, this is okay.
where vultures
This is
fall
what I'm
short.
talking about, Cuddy. Variety.
Their thick feathers easily shield them completely from smaller attacks, but because of their hollow bones, blunt fours can easily crush their defenses and take them down in only a hit or two. So while they can defend a carcass from hordes of smaller scavengers, they
Fair, what is he doing, Cuddy? That scavenger or a raven, Cuddy? You trash.
don't have much counterplay towards bigger, more aggressive brawlers.
The command post is now under hostile control.
What if they all start spamming the acidic projection? Or
The
projectile?
Woodpecker build spent the bulk of their evolution points optimizing and perfecting the peck attack, both in power and efficiency, with one goal in mind: to be able to hit insect players through cover. Burrowing is one of the safest, most effective ways insect players can avoid combat. But the Woodpecker absolutely demolishes this strategy. One of the main advantages of this strategy is that having a powerful beak that's highly effective at drilling through wood also just means you've got a super sharp beak that's highly effective as a general purpose weapon.
There's so many jokes you can make about beak and wood and penetrating. I'm not gonna do that, alright? I've grown past that. I'm a changed man, right? But how do these woodpeckers know that the insects are in these, like, wood trunks? Loki, I think it's luck. I think woodpecker mains are all luck, no skill, Cuddy. Because how do they know that there's a larva, worm, whatever the case may be, inside these logs, you know?
One of the main disadvantages of this strategy is that pecking
Noise.
at wood gives the woodpecker's location away,
Yeah.
alerting more powerful predators to its presence, while it's in the middle of pecking and is distracted. One particular woodpecker build, the toucan,
Toucans are
opted to
woodpeckers?
spec into more bulk and an even more powerful beak, which, while less useful for attacking insects through the wood, is still extremely powerful for PvP. All in all, interesting strategy. By no means flawless, but definitely has some solid strengths.
I think low-key it's overrated. I think, like, bruh, it's just all luck-based, because how can you tell? Listen, if they could sense the vibrations way better than other birds determining, hey, there's an insect in there, I can see the appeal. I can see the uniqueness of the strategy, now, and I'll call it viable. But you can't, from what I know. I'll watch me be wrong. Some bird expert that, like, watches birds fuck all day. Hey, you're wrong, actually! Just, oh, sorry, dog. Sorry, bro. You caught me, gang. just comes out of nowhere. Hey, buddy, you're just wrong. Like, all right, my fault. But, like, still. Penguins.
So, I know I've been pretty hard on flightless birds up until now.
Yeah.
So you might be surprised to see me rate penguins as upper mid-tier rather than low tier.
I low-key forgot penguins existed for, like, a second during the course of this video.
The difference is, penguins actually swapped out their wings for an arguably equally viable
Oh, right,
alternative,
community.
flippers,
Oh,
which
never
essentially allow them to fly through
I be thinking I'm cooking, Cuddy. I be thinking I'm right. Hell no.
the water with incredible agility. This gives them a downright broken matchup against fish. However, this strategy is pretty much only viable on servers where there are no land-based predators that penguins would still need to worry about.
Yeah.
So if for whatever reason a few polar bears ever spawn in the Antarctic server, it's kind of game over for that entire build.
Yeah.
The predators they have to contend with in the water are even more dangerous, and while their agility does help them dodge attacks, ultimately it's still a totally one-sided matchup. Their strategy is pretty cool and actually fairly dominant due to limited competition, but I wouldn't be surprised to see the entire penguin player base collapse if the devs ever add new DLC in the form of an Antarctic land predator, or
Yeah.
even if they just buff the land mobility of the leopard seal. Still, top of C tier is a respectable position for a flightless bird.
A goose.
At the bottom of B
Terrorizing the suburbs, bruh.
tier we have the goose. I've got an entire video dedicated to the goose build, but in short, the goose has solid base stats, including above average hit points. However, its abysmal power stat leads it to rely heavily on intimidation to secure territory. This can be unbelievably effective at times,
Bruh, gooses are mad and mean, too.
and it's not uncommon to see top tier predators flee an encounter that they easily could have won. Still, the obvious flaw in this strategy is that if the goose's opponent resists being frightened, the goose will be wide open to a punishing counterattack. In addition, the goose's weak spot is easily exploitable by intelligent players, so careless aggression tends to be the goose's biggest strength and biggest weakness at the same time. All in all, still a surprisingly effective strategy.
Introducing
Oh my
Grammarly,
gosh, bruh.
like you've never seen before. Your all-in-one writing essential. This is Paraphraser.
Shut up! Heroin?
The Heron build put
Oh.
a huge amount of evolution points into
Dog,
maxing
I
out
just woke up, my bad.
the puncture damage it can deal with its beak, and it did so to great success. Herons have one of the highest damage pecks of any bird, and frequently one-hit their targets, even those with scale armor like large fish and juvenile crocodiles.
Really? That's actually really cool. So they're like the swordfish of birds.
The
Okay.
effectiveness of their piercing attack is amplified by their long neck, which gives their
The flight reacts build.
attacks a deceptively long range, giving their strikes an almost cobra-like flash to them.
That's
have
cool.
downright-
I like these builds. I'm not gonna lie. Whoever made these builds, they cooked, Cuddy. They
Quite
cooked.
oppressive matchups against fish, amphibians, and all other small.
Bro, that frog was just chilling for real though. he was just chilling. Damn, bro, what finna eat today? What am I finna eat? Damn, I wonder if she likes me back, bro. I be wondering, is it really all worth it? The grind, the working. If it all just means I'm gonna die at the end of the day, does it really mean anything for me to survive?
All other small
Like, you know, he just be chilling, Cuddy. Lost in thought as frog, bro. Pinterest as frog.
aquatic builds. One vulnerability they do have is that their flight ability has a lot of startup, making it a bit less reliable as an escape option if they do happen to get ambushed. Still, it's certainly not terrible. Another weakness is that their long neck presents a bit of a weak point, making lunging forward with repeated pecking attacks a bit risky if you get too predictable about it. Good players will be able to punish careless lunges quite hard.
Oh god. The Falcon. Ooh.
In high B tier, we have the Falcon, a raptor build that opts to defeat its opponents
Cuddy,
using
he look mean.
speed and superior maneuvering rather than actual power.
Just knocks him out.
Falcons actually have a below average power stat for a raptor,
I'm not gonna lie, Falcons seem mad fun to
and
play
don't
with,
deal
though.
particularly high
Not like that, but you know
damage
what I'm
in
saying?
close combat. Their talons are pretty small compared to hawks, owls, and eagles, and so instead of slashing and stabbing with their claws, Falcons actually punch with their feet to disorient or concuss their target,
Dude, he gave him CTE. I don't think he's concussed. I think he's dead.
and then finish the fight with their more powerful beak. In the right situation, this can deal absolutely massive damage, enough to one-shot a mid-sized target at full HP.
Like, he not even gonna get the food, too. He fell in the water. He's just an ass. Like, golly, bro.
The drawback of this strategy is that Falcons can only dish out high damage when they have the time to build up speed first.
Yeah.
This makes the Falcon a pretty poor defender for objective game modes, and means the Falcon can struggle to win fights if its first attack doesn't connect, as follow-up attacks will likely not have the same force built up as the first. Still, the burst damage potential of this build cannot be ignored, so it earns its
Dang.
spot in high B tier.
Songbird.
This might seem like an odd inclusion to cap off B tier, but
Yeah.
songbirds are a highly efficient build for their size, and do deserve recognition on this tier list.
Explain, Zoo.
This is a huge group, including finches, starlings, sparrows, wrens, and birds of paradise.
Was he smoking?
And while some are flashier than others, they all have relatively similar stats, with extremely high agility being their core stat. Unlike many of the builds lower on the tier list that have difficulty getting themselves airborne quickly, songbirds have extremely low startup on their flight move, allowing them to reposition themselves easily and quickly.
So they have good mobility.
This makes their approach very difficult to punish, making songbirds excellent at chipping away at defensive players, and makes them great at stealing loot from slower builds.
Yoink.
Their safety in numbers strategy can actually be somewhat intimidating and disorienting too,
That looks really cool, though.
making it rather difficult to attack a party of songbirds mid-flight. While they certainly aren't invincible, having one of the lower HP stats among birds, they're an often overlooked but undoubtedly successful bird build.
The swans. Genus Cygnus.
At the bottom of A tier, we have the swan. The swan is essentially a goose that has the power stat to actually back up its attempts to intimidate.
So a goose with pretty privilege and with like weapons. Okay.
The wing attacks that most bird players use do very little damage and aren't very useful aside from pushing other players around. The swan's wing attack can break bones and concuss foes.
It can?
Because of this, swans are one of the best builds at controlling important points of interest, as their hyper-aggressive playstyle can result in huge territory gains. Of course, they do have the same weaknesses as geese, so targeting the swan's neck with an attack can defuse the threat. But this is a bit riskier of a play against a swan than against
I don't know if that's his pet or if that's his dinner.
a goose. All around, sturdy defender, definitely A tier.
Got it. Owls! I knew they were gonna be up here.
Next in A tier we have the Owl, the Avian faction's premier stealth assassin build. It owes this reputation to its
Buddy, what an opener.
special ability, which allows it to fly completely silently. This makes the Owl's strikes very difficult to defend against, as players just about never see them coming.
Are you laughing? Yeah.
While not as stacked in the power department as their daytime counterparts, Owls do have quite solid base stats. While they aren't likely to one-shot high HP targets, they do have enough force behind their attacks to be able to defend themselves and their territory, even from powerful enemies. In addition
It's
to
just an ass, dog.
granting the Owl the Silent Flight perk, the Owl's thick, bushy feathers offer additional defense against attacks, enabling it to stand its ground in important objective defense scenarios.
Plus, it looks kind of horrifying. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I obviously I know what owls are, but if I see this owl in the
Additional
middle
defense
of the,
against
hold on.
attacks, enabling
Like this in the middle of the night, I would be kind of scared, bro.
a flight perk did come at the cost of the waterproof ability that most bird feathers have.
Really?
Meaning that falling into the water
They're
or getting
cooked.
caught in a rainstorm can actually disable the owl's flight ability. A pretty unique weakness, and certainly something that can be played around, but interesting nonetheless.
So could a fish high-key beat an owl? Like, in terms of, like, imagine a fish, like, the owl goes, but the fish just randomly, one in a million type of trick, bites the owl and pulls him under. Has that happened?
In the middle of A tier, we have the Eagles and Hawks. Hawks and Eagles follow the same basic strategy, both having tailored their builds to focus
I can't see y'all, but if any one of y'all are making a Hawk Tua joke, y'all are getting banned on the spot and disintegrated, dog.
on dealing maximum damage with their talons. Hawks are the smaller variants of this group, and because of this they are far more agile.
Did he just do a 360?
Hawks are the smaller
Or a
variants of this
backflip?
group, and because of this they are far more
What the fuck?
agile.
What?
While not as powerful as eagles, their agility enables them to weave through cover better than most birds of prey.
Yeah.
This makes them well suited for
Say that again.
rushing down players both in open terrain and in dense,
Ayo.
difficult to navigate terrain like forests. Eagles, in contrast, are much more powerful, but their larger size and wider
Doesn't
wingspan
make 'em more
prevents them from
nimble,
entering
yeah.
dense forests. Still, in open prairies and mountains,
That is so cheese. Could he put him off the roof or put him off the mountain?
eagles can be incredibly effective, dealing absolutely
This seems like overkill, dog. And like, he probably didn't even eat him too. He just did it for the love of the game.
brutal damage with their enormous dagger
Dog, no way.
like talons.
That's how he goes, bro.
Enough to take down players in higher weight classes without even requiring team
Face
strategies.
down, bruh.
These are without a doubt some of the strongest bird builds in the game for PvP, and have been for
What
quite
bird is that? Is that an ostrich?
some time.
Tron is back.
Oh yeah, Jared Leto. The EDP, Cuddy. Whenever I'm the Joker, I like to be in character. I send my people use condoms. Okay, Jared Leto.
Pleasure. And it demands to be seen on the biggest screen possible.
Jared Leto, dude. Pelicans,
At the top of A tier, we have the grappler tank hybrid, the Pelican. The Pelican's main strength is its throat pouch.
I'm not gonna make the joke.
Grappling enemy players can be a highly effective takedown strategy, but birds struggle with this since they can't use their wings to grab, and since their beaks aren't always the most reliable grappling weapons, sometimes leading to targets escaping. The Pelican's grapple is, in contrast, almost totally inescapable, and works on targets much larger than you might think. While this
That
attack
is
style is
horrifying,
most
dude.
effective against fish, it's quite powerful against other bird, rodent, and amphibian players, although it does have its limitations. This combined with the Pelican's overall bulk makes it one of the most difficult birds to take down in single combat, and enables it to stand its ground against even top tiers like canines. So those of you who follow the channel for a while can probably guess what the top tier birds are going to be.
No, I can't.
If you can't,
no.
that's probably a good indication that you should be subscribed.
The secretary bird? The Sagittarius.
Those of you
Zodiac
wishing the
signs.
devs could unban the Velociraptor build look no further than the Secretary bird,
Okay.
as it has basically all the same awesome abilities and more. Hunting
But
on
it looks ugly.
foot and in pairs, they prove time and time again that striking from the sky is overrated. They can easily defeat other high-tier builds such as the Cobra and Mongoose
So the Sanji bird.
with their high damage kicks. Their stomp move has extremely high accuracy, allowing Secretary Bird players to score game-ending headshots with ease. And they do all this without completely sacrificing their flight ability. If they ever find themselves outmatched, which only ever happens against builds in higher weight classes, they can still retreat to the sky or treetops. The fact that this strategy works in Africa, one of the most unforgiving servers of all time, is proof enough to me that this is the optimal Raptor. These last two builds are about equally matched, both opting for the same specialization, intelligence.
The
Parrots are an extremely unique build with several
I'm gonna try to pronounce it. Why not? Hold on.
abilities.
The Cetaxiformis. Got it. First
Parrots
try.
are an extremely unique build with several powerful abilities, not the least of which is their Sonic Shriek, which can drive away just about any player who invaded their territory, especially when employed by a coordinated team. In addition, due to their prehensile beak, parrots have the highest dexterity of any bird, putting them among the best users of the tool use ability. And with an extremely high lifespan, if there was any build that could replace humans if humans ever get their intelligence nerfed, I'd bet on the parrot.
Really?
I made an entire video on parrots if you're interested, but when it comes to intelligence, there's one avian build that arguably outclasses them.
Corvid?
Corvids,
They put us on lockdown. No.
such as magpies, crows, and ravens, also opt for a high intelligence playstyle, but with a far more expansive social aspect to it. While plenty of bird builds use cooperative team strats, the best corvids operate using a network effect, where knowledge is shared with a huge amount of players over vast distances.
Like a
This
hive
knowledge
mind.
can include useful points of interest, or even blacklists of dangerous areas or players to avoid.
Okay. Do they have a Reddit?
Even individually, corvids have a lot going for them. With significantly higher stealth than parrots, corvids are much better at staying out of conflict. Their pointy beaks, while not as useful for tool use, are a much better combat tool for dealing quick damage. It's also more useful for pressuring and poking opponents, or for provoking larger players into battle, so that they can reap the benefits of the aftermath.
So just professional instigators. Got you. Okay. But it must suck being the first Corvid, the first Corvid to do anything. Imagine being the first Corvid to, like, test out to see if a spot is blacklisted, right? They go out to, like, I don't know, the redneck's farm and get to one-shotted.
Corvids are one of the best builds at making use of human-made items, and quickly figure out ways of abusing the system to score quick loot. All in all, Corvids are basically
This
what
did
you
happen, by the way.
get if you gave monkeys wings. Easily a top-tier build.
Huh.
So there you have it, the complete bird tier list. Or rather, as complete as I thought possible for YouTube. If I didn't do a segment on your favorite bird, please let me know in the comments.
I wonder, what is y'all's favorite bird? Do you think someone's actually hella mad? You! Tierzoo!
Despite being the longest video I've ever made, there were still a few birds that I cut from the video for time's sake.
Really?
Or because I felt I couldn't discuss the bird properly without getting into territory that was potentially too violent for YouTube.
I wonder why these birds prefer nesting in trees. They have massive spikes everywhere. Surely this is purely coincidental. It's nothing to do with psychotic hunting behavior. What?
If you're interested in watching the full director's cut version of this video, it's available to watch on Nebula, a subscription streaming service built by and for creators. Nebula comes bundled for free with CuriosityStream, another awesome streaming service and longtime sponsor of the channel. CuriosityStream is home to the highest quality nonfiction content around, with several thousand documentaries available for streaming on all devices. Normally I'm always plugging their incredible dinosaur content, which they have in spades, but this time I'd like to draw attention to this great little documentary called These Birds Were Made for Walking, which does a great job explaining the process by which birds evolve flightlessness. It's super interesting, so please, head to the link in the description, pick up that sweet 26% off deal, a year's worth of CuriosityStream for less than $15, and enjoy both the extended edition of the Bird Tier List as well as the Walking Birds documentary.
I ain't gonna lie, I'm highly interested.
Thank you so much for watching.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm kind of interested. I might check it out, actually. Really, hoodie dude? Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Really? Fuck you. But, bro, that's great for today's video. If you like the video, I don't care. But, low-key, actually, I have no idea what I was gonna say. My stomach hurts. I'm hungry. I have not had breakfast. Love y'all. Peace. Bye.